Man, what's good, YouTube? What is good, man? We're back with another video. Back at Chico State, doing another sit with me. And this time, I think we got some good questions. You know, it's not Valentine's Day anymore, but it is the season of love. And so we're going to be asking questions about love today. Without further ado, let's get it. All right, let's do it.
All right, heck yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm Mariah.
Mariah?
Yes. What's
I'm
your name?
Ishmael.
Ishmael. Heck yeah, cool name.
But anyway, so last time I did this, I basically was talking about, you know, happiness and was asking them about how their day is, how their experience is at Chico State. And I think it did pretty well.
Uh-oh.
But today, you know, even though it's Valentine's Day is over,
Yes, it
I
is.
feel like it's still the season of love. So
Yes,
today
it
we're going to be
is.
talking about love.
All right, that's my favorite thing. I love that.
So the first question today is, does chivalry still exist?
Yes,
Yeah?
I think so. I think in California specifically, maybe not. Because California is so interesting. But I think especially maybe like in other states or other certain cities. Like I used to live in Redding up north, much more conservative. I can see that happening more there. And I'm not saying, conservatism has anything to do with that.
Right.
But I think it definitely does. Now, is it as common as it used to be? I don't think so. But I think it still exists. What about you? What do you think?
I think it still exists sometimes. I think, like you said, it's not as common as it used to be. It probably, we don't go out of our way to, you know, be chivalrous or whatever.
No, not anymore. I think it's just because we stopped believing that anyone appreciates it.
That's true. And I agree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm from, I live in Red Bluff, so I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I'm not from Redding. I'm actually from Southern California.
Oh, really?
And that, yes. And that, I never really saw it as much there.
That must be a big change then, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. I started to notice the more, like, chivalrous, like, attitude when I moved up north, especially to Redding.
Damn, well, that's good to hear. Y'all hear that?
More
Northern
cowboy.
California.
Yeah, more cowboyish, I guess. I don't know. But also, it just depends on how you want to interpret the chivalry.
I see.
Like, you know what I mean? For me, it's like, it's respect. And is that person going to respect you in public and also take care of you? You know, and it just depends. Like, I'm not expecting every single time for someone to open my door, but as long as they can show and respect me in public, I think that's super important.
Yeah, I hear you on that too. Next question is, do you think love still exists?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. You know, I think if you asked me that a year ago, probably say no. But love is forever.
What changed your mind?
I left a toxic relationship.
I see.
And I started to focus more on what love actually is and what it means and what it means to love somebody. Because you can love somebody, or you can be in love with them, right? There's two different. For me, it's different. If I love you, then there's so much to that. You know, if I'm choosing to love you, right? Because love is, you know, a mix of loyalty, a mix of, you know, great care and responsibility, trust. And I think if you can't have any of those, you cannot really love somebody. And then let alone if you can't even love yourself in that certain aspect of, hey, do I trust myself? Do I love who I am? Am I secure in myself? Can I really put that onto somebody else? Or will I project those insecurities and then cause this pattern? You know? I think it exists, but you have to understand what it means before you can start saying, oh yeah, love is this and love is that. Because people can say, well, to them love is maybe, you know, getting into your relationship and having these other ideas like breaking trust or not being as loyal or maybe, you know, this and that. But it really comes down. I mean, I was talking about this with my best friend here, and we are very much into the big committed relationships. We love working and working toward a greater commitment like marriage and understanding the importance of it. But you really, I don't know why people would say love doesn't exist, because it does. It's just you have to understand what it means before you can start saying that it doesn't, or that it even does. Also, I think a big thing for me too is understanding that it connects a lot to my faith as well, and what that means, and also trying to find that in the world as well, which is incredibly hard around this time. We are living in the emotional dark age. So yeah, I think it does, 100%.
Okay.
What about you? Do you think it does?
I do. And actually, I liked what you said. Like, you have to understand what it means, and before you can actually start to love, you know, people and whatever. And so that brings me to my next question. You know, what does love mean to you, and how long did it take you to realize, really understand it?
I've always really feel like I've worn my heart and love out. I've always felt the need to. We was talking about this with Kayla too. How I've always felt the need to help others or do things for others, not because of my own best interest, but for theirs. And I think that's a big thing when it comes to love, is looking out for someone in their best interest, not for yours, right? If you're looking out for them, like, that means maybe having to put them in their place and say, like, hey, actually, that wasn't a smart decision, but I'm here for you to support you and help you. That can be a form of love. Or maybe someone just wants you to sit with them in the mud for a minute and say, hey, like, it's going to be okay. But, like, yeah, this is shitty. Yeah, you might have made a mistake. That's okay. That's what real love is to me. But what was the other question? I don't even know. I could go on about that.
How long do you think it took you?
This has been a work in progress of being in my early 20s, for sure, especially being in a long-term relationship before that wasn't as healthy, and we didn't really understand what it was, especially being at such a young age. I think it's taken me my whole life, I think, to understand what it really means, because I've always been like, yeah, I love you and care about you, and I've genuinely meant that. And then when something hits the fan, I'm like, maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
And then understand that I've had to be back and be like, do I actually love the person, or have I chosen to do it, or have I just chosen to do it because I want them to love me back so bad? And the truth is like, we shouldn't have to prove ourselves for love. I don't think if people don't want to stick, then that's on them. And like I said, everyone has their own interpretation of love, so it's important to find those people that align with that same value and belief of love.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's smart too, because, like you said, everyone has their own definition of it, and it's hard to find people with the same, like you said, alignment.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly.
Same definition, and it's important to find those people, because
also when you find those people that feel like that, like, being with her, and also just like the other people that I've met in my life now up to this point have taught me, like, oh, love is real, because they've stuck by even through the most terrible times, being like, I'm not a good friend, and I haven't hit you up, or sorry, I canceled again, and I have so much going on. And those people have been like so gracious, and love is gracious. Love is supposed to be understanding. Love is supposed to be patient. Love is supposed to be kind. It's not supposed to be, angry or quick to get angry, or, it's supposed to be understanding. And I think it's so hard for people to understand that. Love is not supposed to be painful at all. It could cause feelings of pain, but it shouldn't hurt to love somebody, or to love yourself, or shouldn't hurt to give out love. And if it does, then that has to go back to some internal work that someone has to do. So yeah, it's a whole thing. This has been on my mind for the past 6 months. It's important to be knowledgeable in it about anything before you can start giving out love. You don't even know what it means.
That's true.
I mean, we know the song "How to Love" from freaking Lil Wayne. Like, that was like, there we go. There's a song. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. We could do. I don't know. There, yeah.
No, I like that. I like everything you said. And I was the last question I have for you is, assuming, are you straight?
Yes, I am.
So,
what are straight? Man, I don't know. I might be a little crooked. I don't know.
The last question is, what are some red flags?
Ooh, so I'm in a relationship right now, but I've only been in 2 long-term committed relationships. The first one I was very young. I was 14. He was 16. Red flag. One red flag is, I think, if he might feel the need to cling on to you, to kind of maybe to play a role as his mom. I think that might be, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say, because I don't want to say the wrong thing of like, what's a red flag and what's not, because for me, I think if you feel it in your gut that something is off, or you feel like this person might be showing some things that make you uncomfortable, maybe trigger you in a certain way. I'm not saying that's necessarily a red flag, but it might be something to question. But I think a red flag would be like, okay, maybe I don't want to even apply social media to this.
Right.
Let's pretend it doesn't even exist, right?
Okay.
Now, but if we're going to be speaking to everyone here and talking about social media, yeah, we could say, oh, if he's following a bunch of models and he's liking all the pictures and he's texting a bunch of girls, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Well, it might be, but at the same time, it's like maybe he didn't think anything was wrong with that because he knows that those people are not real. I don't know. That's going to be a controversial opinion there. That's going to be very, for me,
so
I'm just like,
pretty open-minded.
Absolutely. I'm not going to, like, for example, my boyfriend now, like, I'm aware that he follows a lot of people. Now, I'm not going to go, that's on me if I want to go scroll and look and start an issue based on my insecurities, because I have done that. And then I've started a whole thing and this narrative in my brain that I'm like, oh, he probably thinks everyone else is prettier than me. But it's like, why did he choose me in the beginning? You know, and it's going back to that. So I guess a red flag would be maybe if he doesn't know how to be emotionally mature. So maybe if he gets quick to get angry and quick to react in a certain way and maybe purposely understand that he's hurting you for his own interest, maybe that could be a red flag. It's hard to say. I think.
I mean, those are pretty good red flags.
Yeah, right? I mean, I would just say, like, if he doesn't even treat you with basic respect, that is a big red flag. If he can't even respect your decisions, thinking as a woman in general, like, if he is not respectful toward your being and your presence and cannot admire that, then red flags. And I mean, it could be him embarrassing you, maybe he'll get mad, or maybe he'll react a certain way, or maybe he might talk bad about you in front of his friends, or maybe some of those things. I'm just gonna put it up in the air, but
those are some good examples.
Yeah, it's all down to the respect.
It's all down to the respect. I agree.
And that ties in with love.
It does.
And it's work. And at the end of the day, we gotta choose. We're waking up every day to choose to love people. Because we could wake up and be like, I don't love you no more. But, but it's just, I don't know, man. I can go on about that. I am also only like 23. Like, I don't know shit. I'm pretty sure 10 years from now, someone's going to ask me the same question. I'm going to have
Maybe
a different answer.
Yeah.
And also, to add the last note, in my organizational communication class, we talked about why we can't really define love. And it's because everyone interprets it differently.
True.
And everyone has a different feeling and connection and emotion to it. If you would have asked me, like I said, a year ago what it meant to me, I would have not said what I said now. I probably would have been like, yeah, when he looks at you and kisses you and hugs you, that probably means he loves you. Now it's much deeper than that. I think it all comes down to the trust, respect, and the loyalty. That's more important, rather than someone being all like gushy in public and stuff. Like, no, we need someone that's gonna hold it down and be real and be honest. That's honest. Honesty is real too. And just trying your best and showing up the best you can. And I think that's all that matters. But some people are blinded to that because we have these ideas of new love now that are supposed to be like, oh gosh, he didn't pay for the first meal, so he's terrible.
Right.
Like, no, he didn't. He doesn't need to pay for you if he doesn't want to. But I'm not saying he shouldn't, but don't determine the love off of that,
Yeah, don't box it in.
Absolutely, you can't you definitely have to be open-minded, open-hearted, and understand that everyone comes from a different way of experiencing love. And so that's the beautiful part about love, though, is you get to kind of not play with it, but mold your own type of dynamic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree with that, especially like what you said. Everyone has their own definition.
Absolutely.
And that's why I that's why I'm here, because I want to see other people's perspective.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to talk, because I think this is something I'm passionate about, and understanding that, especially in this generation, the way we look at love and relationships is so interesting. I just learned what situationship was.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know there was a thing. I mean,
I
know there's exclusivity and there's, committed relationships and dating. Yeah.
It's
but
crazy.
for me, I'm just like, you like me, or we gonna be a thing? I'm not trying to play around. But
I mean, yeah.
It just depends on the person. That's me.
It depends on the person.
And that's okay. Someone might not like that. Someone might be like, oh, she's over there. Another relationships, get that. And that's okay, but that's me. So deal with it.
I felt with that.
Like, some people aren't ready to love others, and that's okay.
True.
Better than to be giving out fake love,
And it's better to understand that. If you're not,
then be real on that.
Yeah.
I'm actually not ready to love you right now. I'm not ready to love anybody because I still have work, and I would respect that more than someone just faking it out just so they can please me. I'd rather, yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I do have one more question.
Okay, for sure.
I'm gonna flip it on you because I asked you about red flags. Now, what are some green flags?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, back to the, if he respects you, he's honest. I think for me also just if it's not maybe too rushed, it's very slow, and he's not trying so much to win you over rather than just kind of being himself. I'm kind of thinking about my partner right now and how he did it, and
well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm just man, he didn't really need to do much, not in the sense oh, he didn't have to do much to get me. It's more, he wasn't trying to be more than what he was. He wasn't being oh, I got this and I have this to offer. It's no, he was straight up with me. He's this is what I have to offer right now, and if you're cool with that, then let's do it.
Right.
And that, I appreciated that honesty. And I think it all comes down, like I said, to the honesty, and it's someone just being true to themselves and showing their true self, so that we're not mixing this masking of like, wait a minute, now you're acting all different, you're switching up, you said you had this offer, you said you had that, and that's where people get hurt, because
True.
you know, people are not being honest. And I'll even admit too that in the past I've come off this way so that I can be impressive and earn others' love, because I'm like, oh, I'm scared, like, what if I'm not lovable, and we're always scared of being alone. But the truth is, there's going to be someone that's going to love you exactly how you are right now, but it's all to do with patience. And go back to love is patient, we have to understand that. And it's just, it's like a whole thing. So there's, I mean, green flags, I mean, if he treats you sweet, gives you a little forehead kisses maybe, holds your hand, gentle, is smart, I think. And I mean, like, not smart like book-wise, like wise. I really appreciate someone that's wise, because someone put me in my place, you know, when I just don't know what I'm talking about. Someone that respects your values and beliefs and just respects you as you, and respects themselves, like if they feel good in themselves. And you know, but to me, a green flag is just more of like, man, if he respects me and just loves me for who I am and can understand my flaws and be cool with it and also be real about it, like, I love that. So
I appreciate
yeah.
that.
Also,
I appreciate
also hygiene.
I'll
say
That's
that.
big.
I'll say that. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Yes.
You gave a lot of good answers.
Thanks. I hope that someone. Yeah. Thank you. And it was a pleasure. Absolutely. And I hope that you can get some people over here and maybe just see what they say. And I don't know. It'll be interesting. Just see what say afterwards. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about love today.
Oh, I love that conversation. It's my favourite one.
What's your accent?
He's Cockney.
I don't know where that's at. Where's that
Neither
at?
do I.
Oh, okay.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Not a handshake. What was your name again?
Aiden.
I'm Ishmael.
Nice to meet you, Ishmael.
Nice to meet you. So yeah, today we're talking about love. And one of the questions that we have today: do you think love still exists?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think it just depends on how you go about it, you know? Like, the ideal of love is, you know, everything's fine and great and pretty and good, and then you get towards it and you start to encounter issues, and maybe that idea of love is a little distorted the farther you go ahead. But I think the real love is what you find after you get through the issues, you know?
Right.
Because the issues are part of the love. I think love could be easier to find as perseverance more than anything else.
So working past the problems and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. When you come upon a step, I think sometimes pitfalls people fall into is they don't communicate about how they're feeling. You know, they'll misconstrue the issue, or they'll get confused, or they'll keep going through it and they'll just kind of push through and not talk about it, and it'll just build up over years and years, or months and months, or sometimes if you got a really short fuse, weeks and weeks.
Right.
Right.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, that's how I feel about love.
I agree with that 100%. It definitely is a journey and something you want to build upon too. And I know, you know, with me, a lot of times when I don't communicate, that's when I have a lot of problems. Like
Absolutely,
you said,
yeah.
you have to communicate. And I guess another question, the main question today is, what does love mean to you?
Ooh.
What is your definition of love?
I think love to me means when I fall down, there's someone to pick me up. I think that's the most important part, because when you're at your best, that's when it's easiest, right? But if someone's willing to stick with you when it gets really, really hard, and they'll still take care of you, just to still take care of them, I think that's the most important part. That's what love is.
I agree. I definitely agree, because I know I've been there where, you know, you get knocked down and there's like no one there to pick you up.
Yeah.
And having someone there that helps you is a huge thing, and it's definitely very comforting and powerful.
Yeah. You know, the hardest things we do are the things we do alone.
Definitely. And another question I have for you today: what are some green flags that you have in women?
Ooh. When they take initiative, when they talk with me about how they're feeling instead of getting angry at me.
Right.
Like, you know, if you're having a bad day, that's one thing. Everyone has bad days, that happens. But when they say, hey, I'm feeling this way, can you talk about this with me? Or they open up a bit, I think that's what's important. That's a green flag for me.
I like
the
that.
willingness to communicate.
So now to flip it on you, what are some red flags?
Ooh, red flags? They don't respect boundaries. When you're talking about where your boundaries are, they go, okay, and then maybe they make a mistake a few times, and that happens. But if they continually push that boundary, not just cross it, but push it, they see how far they can go, that's when I'm like, hey, you're not just messing up and learning. You're doing this intentionally. That's not okay.
Right.
And I can't see it.
Yeah, that's fair. And last but not least, what is, if you had one message to the world about love, what would it be?
I'd say don't get too tripped up on the first love. Because the first love
that's
is
a good one.
the first love is hard. Everyone thinks that's where it's at. They get attached really easily, which is it's okay to get attached. But when it happens super quick and you don't give it time to look at it for what it is, and you just go in that ideal, that blind love, that's what really gets people. And that's what breaks a lot of people is that first love experience. They go through it and they fall hard, and they don't always get back up.
That's very true. I actually really like that answer. But yeah, that's all we have for today. So I appreciate you sitting down. You can take as much candy. So yeah, today, it's not Valentine's Day, but
Right.
I do feel like it's still the season of love.
Definitely.
So we're gonna be asking questions about love. So to start off with, do you think love still exists?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, it is such a broad concept, and to be, more specific, do you think that like love in a romantic way is the same it was, say 50 years ago? Or?
No, I'd say it's different definitely now, just because of the context that we find ourselves in we're in a different place. So I think what we value is different from like 50 years ago. So the characteristics that you look in other people and you love, it's different from what it was. I mean, like in medieval times, being like super overweight was desired, and that because it showed you had enough food where you could support yourself. Now, not so much.
Yeah. And do you think that it's changed for the better or worse?
That is a good question. I'm not sure. I feel like right now, I don't know. It's a weird time right now. I feel like society is moving in a direction where it could either get really good or it could get really bad. So and it's like it's kind of like both at the same time.
Yeah.
So and it's hard to figure out what everything is going. But all you can do is control what's in your control.
Yeah, that's true. And the most important question, though, that I'm most interested in hearing from most people is, what does love mean to you?
I think love is very universal. I think it's a grander concept than just finding it in one person. I think when you find a partner, I feel like there's like this cosmic love for everything, like little ants, atoms to these big trees. I feel like love is everywhere, but in finding like a romantic partner, because it's so all-encompassing and so everywhere, it's overwhelming. So I think we look for romantic partners so that we can kind of focus in and channel our love.
In the love.
Yeah, focus on, because you can only control the small little circle of stuff that's in your control. When you have a romantic partner that they're giving you space, and you can kind of have that space to express your love to that other person.
I like that a lot. I definitely agree with that too. That's actually what I said. Is like I feel like love is kind of this energy, and everyone you can love like whatever, anything, and you can like move in love, like your aura could be love, like today.
Definitely.
I was telling the other person that even this like conversation, like me trying to understand you and genuinely listening, I feel like that's an expression of love. That's just one example.
Yeah, I think people are some of the most complex things that exist, and when you look at one person, you can see like the universe in their eyes, because every person has their own idea of what everything is. Yeah. And so getting to just sit down and actually have a real conversation with somebody is, I think, incredibly valuable.
Right.
And you don't really get that often, because everybody's kind of like nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Whatever worries that I think cloud you from that all-encompassing
I agree with
cosmic
that.
love.
Yeah, I agree with
It's a
that.
Band-Aid.
Especially because, like, that's why I make these videos, too, is also because that's, like, part of the purpose is to, you know, open people up and
Yeah.
get them to be a little bit more vulnerable than they would be. And, you know, just having this conversation because, you know, you see so many people walk by and it's like that person has a whole world that I've
Right.
never even...
Yeah, there's, I think the word sonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me. And, yeah, and that's why we're sitting here today.
Yeah.
What are some green flags you look for in people?
That's a good question. It's a hard question to answer too, because I feel like green and red flags are, I think, easier to see.
Yeah.
But and people could be waving green flags right in front of your face,
Right.
even though that can be its own red flag in a weird way.
That's true.
But I think just having being able to have an honest conversation, like this conversation right now, I
Right.
think is a good example when you can tell and feel that someone is actively listening. I think that's a pretty good green flag. But I mean, you got to be careful because people be manipulating out there.
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely. And also, now to flip it on you, what are some red flags you see?
red flags. Definitely just like being inconsiderate of other people, being aware of how what you're saying might affect the people around you.
Right.
And I mean, you can only really be so considerate because if you're in a room of like 20 people, that's 20 different people that you have to try to be considerate for.
True.
So it can go a little too far, but I think just, making an effort.
Right.
And like, I think talking shit about people,
Yeah, definitely.
like, and it's a weird line because I find myself doing it too. And but like, I don't know, there's talking shit about people and complaining. It's hard to say.
I see what you mean, though.
I don't know. And also, I feel like over time you kind of learn the green and red flags a little bit more.
Yeah, and they might change from person to person and stuff.
Right. And also just like, surface level things that seem like green or red flags might not actually be what you think they are.
Right.
But don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
definitely. And last but not least, if you had any message for the people about love, what would it be?
I'd have to say that it is everywhere, all around you, all the time, and it's just a matter of trying to become aware and conscious of that and letting it in. And I don't know, just don't try to look for it outside of yourself because it's inside of you. And if you try to look for it inside of somebody else, then I think you miss out on so much. I think it starts from within and you can grow it out from there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that analogy. But yeah, thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah, dude.
What was your name again?
Eric.
Eric, okay.
What was your name again? Ishmael.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll probably see me out here again.
Definitely. I'll try to stop if you're not too busy.
Yeah, definitely. Hey man, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be out here again. And this was the second edition in Sit With Me at Chico State. And I'll be going to other places too, but till then, peace. You made it to the end of the video. And, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who sat down with me and had a conversation with me. I appreciated everything that they all said. And I appreciate them for taking the time out of the day to do that. So that's number one, first. And secondly, it took me a while to get that video up because before I edited that video, the audio was terrible. I mean, it's already not the best in the first 16 minutes because, like I said, there was a group of people standing right behind the camera talking, and there was a lot of wind, freaking birds chirping, everything. But, I still wanted to post it because I loved what they all said. But I wanted to post it, because it was a great video. And I wanted everyone to see their perspectives on love and stuff like that. And not only that, but also it took me a while to get out there because, it's been raining a lot. You know, as you can see today, it's a beautiful fucking day, but it's been raining a lot, really windy. So, but I got it up, but I got out there and I did it. I was very nervous, but I did it. And I just realized now, especially from that video, is I definitely need a mic. And I definitely need a new fucking sign, because that shit kept coming off. But anyways, man, yeah, if y'all like that video, like, subscribe. I'll be out there again, you know I will. And until next time, baby, peace.